Hi everyone, my name's Suzi Carter. I'm a commercial property expert and surveyor. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on whether we're going to have a property downturn or whether it's going to property crash. And I have to say, obviously none of us have got crystal balls, but at the moment I'm edging towards a downturn rather than a crash. Now obviously there is going to be a downturn. You can't open the newspapers or look at the news at the moment without any kind of negative news, and that's massively going to affect both business and consumer confidence. We've got high inflation, rising cost of debt, and we've got consumer confidence really starting to drop. So there's definitely some issues there which are going to cause a so-called cost of living crisis, a winter of discontent. So there's definitely going to be a downturn. Obviously where there's a problem there's an opportunity, so I think there's going to be some fantastic buying opportunities there in the market. The reason why I don't think there's going to be a massive property crash, now obviously the caveat to this is that this is as of beginning of September 2022, so things obviously can change. We could have a black swan event which actually will cause a kind of disarray and will cause markets to plummet, but at the moment it's looking like the fundamentals are okay for not having a property crash. So I think the first really important factor is that the banking system is relatively stable now. If you look at the global financial crisis in 2008, it was caused by an unstable and slightly reckless banking system, and therefore that massively affects property of all types. Actually, we obviously had a residential and a commercial property crash. What was interesting was that commercial property recovered as soon as the finance system started to pull itself together, and of course there were people that really profited massively during that crash. But at the moment we have a banking system that's stable. I would say it's not functioning particularly well at the moment. I think lenders and underwriters are taking a very long time. They're short-staffed. There's a lot of demand, but the system itself is relatively stable. There's also really high employment. We're at one of the highest levels of employment I think we've ever had, and there's wage growth now, not quite at the rate of inflation, but there is wage growth. What the Bank of England will be trying to do is trying to bring some of that wage growth down, because obviously that is fueling inflation. But employment is high. And you would definitely, and obviously Brexit has partly caused that, so you would definitely expect, if there was going to be a crash, for there to be growing unemployment. But at the moment there's no evidence of that. Obviously that could still come. Also, household balance sheets are much more they're much better and they're much more stable than they were pre-COVID. A lot of people saved money during COVID. There's obviously the furlough scheme as well, which made corporate balance sheets pretty strong as well. So I think it's fair to say that both corporate and household balance sheets are probably stronger than pre-COVID. So at the moment the fundamentals are looking like it is going to be a downturn. I kind of haven't been talking the market down, but I think it's probably pretty naive to think there isn't going to be a downturn. Obviously where there's problems there's opportunities. Was it Baron Rothschild said, buy when there is blood on the street, even if it's your own. So there's definitely something in that. And now is the time though to look at your overheads in your businesses, try and cut out a lot of cost, try and increase cash flow, and position yourself ready. Continue those direct to vendor campaigns, try and position yourself ready to sentiment is going to soften. And so we will see, whereas vendors have been relatively bullish and holding out for high prices, we will see that confidence starting to drop, and there will be some buying opportunities out there. At the moment, I can't see there being a massive whole-scale property crash, although I do think prices will come down. But obviously things can change, and all we need is a black swan event, which is a big event like the global financial crisis, or Lehman's was the black swan there. Russia-Ukraine war could still prove to be that, or something in the Far East with China, Taiwan, etc. But at the moment, it's looking like it's going to be a downturn. Position yourself well, and look out for those buying opportunities.